Well, you're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, a Humboldt area farm is testing robotic equipment that eliminates harsh chemicals. Local farmers say the technology costs about the same as traditional spraying, but delivers better results.
Also, a local crisis center directors fight to restore LGBTQ youth suicide prevention services.
And we have extreme heat warnings across the area this morning and through most of this week. Well, the latest on what you need to know coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Water. It's just after 7 a.m. on this Monday, July the 21st. Very hot through the weekend. Very hot coming up. In dangerous heat out there as well, which is why some of this future technology may be beneficial for more folks down the road.
Yeah, so a local farmer is looking to the future of agriculture by using some new technology.
KOAM's Mitch Adams visited the Allen County farm to see the equipment in action.
Outside of Humboldt, Kansas, a farm is taking advantage of equipment that you would only think to find in the future.
I heard about these robots probably 5 or 6 years ago and called them, and they were still experimenting with them. And I told them if they have any room for experimenting in southeast Kansas, give me a call. And last year they called me, and I was able to do 50 acres with them, and it worked out pretty well.
Greenfield Robotics, based in Cheney, Kansas, provides innovative robots that have the ability to spray crops and cut weeds fully autonomously.
So many things in the industry that are making farmers spend more and more money on herbicides, pesticides, fertilizers, and really expensive farm equipment. We're able to shrink that down so you can reduce those inputs so your machines don't cost as much. Really makes it effective for farmers of any size to do their operation.
The robotic farm equipment takes away the need for harsh pesticides and, according to Sean, costs about the same as spraying crops.
Oh, I think it'll have a big impact. I think there's going to be a lot more of these style of things used, not only because of economical benefits with not having to use pesticides, but also economical.
The future of farming may be getting close enough to see it from the roadside. In Allen County, Kansas, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Well, Greenfield Robotic says their main goal is to make known the benefits of regenerative agriculture and how it can shape the industry going forward.
Certainly so, and thankfully those robots not out there looking for Sarah Connor.
Oh, he did it.
They're looking for Sarah Connor in the fields. They will find her. It's very cool though. The technology is very cool though. I just you watch those movies.
I just can't believe you did that.
You gotta watch out. All right, you gotta be careful.
Yes, you do.
Let's take a look outside downtown Pittsburgh, and I don't see Sarah Connor in downtown Joplin. We can't find her, so we're okay. But seriously, we do have extreme. It's because Sarah Connor's the dominator instead of looking.
Oh no.
Hey, I tell you what, it's hot outside. I can tell you that right now. We have extreme heat. I broke it. Is what happened. We have extreme heat warnings across the area, because your microphone's on, Elise. I'm going to come a little close here. But we do have extreme heat warnings across the area. Heat index values today easily up to 105, 110 degrees. You got to make sure you're taking precautions out there and staying safe. We will get the Terminator resolved and have a complete look at your forecast for you here in just a few more minutes. We're going to switch over to Elise with this morning's top stories.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, an attempted water rescue turns deadly after a man drowns while trying to save a young woman. First responders from the Knoll Fire Department, the Knoll Marshals, McDonald County deputies, Freeman Ambulance, and Missouri Highway Patrol and Water Divisions were alerted to 2 people drowning around 5:44 p.m. yesterday on the Elk River on the west side of town near the Lowhead Dam. A 26-year-old female was kayaking and went over the dam and was caught in the rolling current. A 55-year-old male then jumped in to rescue the woman. The female held onto her kayak, which was eventually pushed out of the current. The male found himself caught in the current, and a bystander was able to pull the man out, and first responders began CPR. The woman did not require medical care. The male was unresponsive and was rushed to a hospital in Arkansas, where he was pronounced dead. Well, a Missouri teen accused of making a bomb threat on a plane appeared in court in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The incident happened Monday last week before a Kansas City-bound flight took off. The 16-year-old was arrested on charges of criminal mischief and making a false report of a bomb or explosive. During the hearing, he apologized for his actions. Some witnesses who sat near the teen said he showed regret after making the comments. Prosecutors argued he should have known better. The judge decided while there was no real threat, the teen will remain behind bars for the weekend. He is scheduled to appear in court in Missouri next month. Well, drivers going through Carl Junction should be aware of a speed limit change beginning today. Route Z on Imperial Road and Walnut Street in front of the high school. That speed limit will be reduced from 45 to 40. Once school begins, the school zone will be reduced from 35 to 30. The change comes following a resident-requested speed study conducted by MoDOT, which found the speed limit to be higher than it needed to be. Liberty Utilities is hosting an open forum this evening in Joplin about new proposed rates in Southwest Missouri. Now, rates go from $33 per kilowatt an hour to $39 per kilowatt an hour. Liberty says the money made from the rates will go to help strengthen their system against weather and improve the grid overall. The forum will be held at the Justice Center Auditorium on the campus of Missouri Southern at 6 p.m. If approved, the new rates will go into effect in early 2026. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline has ended its specialized services for LGBTQ youth. Now, that follows President Trump's decision to cut the program's funding. The specialized service was created in 2022. Karen McElroy reports on how Kansas advocates are concerned about what it could mean for this group of young people.
The 988 Lifeline
Suicide Prevention Center Crisis Line
is tasked with saving lives every day.
Being able to talk to someone openly and frankly about suicide is very important.
But now funding cuts have eliminated special counseling for LGBTQ youth.
It's putting so many lives at risk.
Local LGBTQ advocates are raising concerns after the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration announced last month that the 988 hotline would, quote, no longer silo LGB plus youth services to focus on serving all help seekers.
When somebody believes in them, when they are just their authentic selves and say, this is who I am, and they're accepted, not questioned, it has a very positive effect.
She said LGBTQ youth experience higher rates of anxiety, depression, and suicidal thoughts.
The kids in the LGBTQIA community are having additional challenges with maybe not being accepted for who they are. Sometimes it's their parents, sometimes it's other family members, sometimes it's in their community.
988 call data shows that in Kansas from July 2023 to February 2024, over 1,500 calls were routed to LGBTQ services. The Kansas Director of Crisis Communications commented on these changes, saying, quote, Kansas 988 remains committed to providing inclusive care to all Kansans.
Advocates say LGBTQ youth struggling with suicidal thoughts can also contact the Trevor Project. And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, Lori is back in the studio with her recipe for Rockstar barbs. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from Immigrant Park located in Pittsburgh, Kansas. Well, this morning, Lori Horton has been showing us the recipe for her Rockstar bars. Now, we've been working hard on this dough. Talk to me about what's next, Lori.
Okay, so I am just finishing up on getting all of these dry ingredients incorporated with our nice whipped butter and brown sugar and sugar mixture to start with. Pretty standard fare. It's almost like a sugar cookie dough at this point, or you could kind of pivot and make it a chocolate chip cookie, but it's going to be very dense. So this is the point where we switch over to the best tools that we have. Scrub those hands, put on those gloves, whatever you prefer, but we are going to go to mixing by hand.
Okay.
Because it's going to be very, very dense at this point, and it's just easier to incorporate it with your hands. So I'm just kind of pressing and getting the corners of the last of those dry ingredients together. And then what we're going to add to this, it's going to be so good. I mixed up those pretzels, mashed them up a little bit at the beginning. We've got that saltiness that we're going to add. Obviously, we've got the sweet of the dough, but we're not going to stop there.
No, please don't.
No. So what I have in my finest Tupperware here for you is a mixture of a bunch of different kinds of chips. And I've got toffee chips, I have got dark chocolate chips. I'm going to let your clean hands open that for me. Thank you. And part of the reason I put it in here is because we'll get real fancy and we're going to mix that. Okay.
Ooh, that looks so good. All
we're going to get
together. I'm just going to stick my hand in there.
It's like the best trail mix without all the things you don't want, right? So we've just got a really good mixture. I put in some of the mini chocolate chips for milk chocolate. I put in some dark chocolate. You could add espresso chips to this. Chocolate chunks. It's really whatever you've got on hand, but you're going to add a total of about 3.5 cups of chips and pieces of whatever just works for you. I am really bad about always keeping those last little bits of chips in the freezer because I use about 2/3 of a bag. I've got this left. I'll use it for something. This is like the mass clean out something. So you really have to work hard, like you can see here. Again, I don't want to use my spatula because I'd probably snap the spatula into pieces. So you're just incorporating this. You don't want to overdo it as far as working the dough. But you do need to just continually fold these ingredients in so that there's some in each piece. And that's why it works a little better to mix all of your bits up ahead of time. And then pour them in together so you don't get one side that's got no pretzels and one side that's got all the pretzels. So we're going to get the last of that mixed in. What I've got over here to put that in is just a 9x13 pan. That can be a regular metal baking pan, an aluminum pan, whatever you got. And it's very important that you spray it. So make sure you put some of that baking spray in there. If you've got a nicer pan, you can even line it with parchment. That works well too. But you're still going to spray it a little bit. So when we come back, we're going to press this in there, top it off, and then talk about baking it.
All right, wonderful. Lori, thanks. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Lori has been showing us how to make Rockstar bars, and we're making it to the last final steps here.
We're almost over the finish line,
working hard with that dough.
Oh, I know. It is. It's a workout. This is one, unfortunately, probably not a great one for the kids to help with because they're just not going to be able to do a whole lot. But I'm going to take that whole hunk of dough, and you can see it's very solid because I can pick it up in one piece.
Packed with goodies, too.
Get a few of those little bits out of the bottom because you don't want to waste any of that. And then we're going to actually press this down fully into the pan. So it's really simple. You have the pan sprayed, so no problems there. Start in the middle, push it out to the edges so that you're not picking up too much of the pan spray. But just make sure you get it to the corners and that it's fairly even. So if you have a really heavy, thick spot that you can see a little mound in the middle, kind of work that out. Don't let it
nicely though.
It does.
After all that work.
I know, right? It's really not bad. It's pretty creamy when you get down to it. When we started with that nice cookie base. So when you get it all patted in there, it looks all nice and doughy. You can see it's really
delicious.
Even. But we started with that salty sweet. So to finish on the salty sweet, we're going to add a little bit of coarse sea salt. So this is a bigger grain, than just your regular table salt or your table sea salt. So don't overdo. You don't want to get a really salty bit, but you want just that little tiny
Yes,
bit
and it's
of
great
crunch.
that you can see how much you're putting on.
Exactly. It's so nice with these bigger pieces. You
Yeah.
can tell exactly where you put it. And then at this point, if you want to add a few extra of your pretzel pieces or a few of your chocolate chips, you can. And this is where your expert baker would ordinarily show you what the finished product is supposed to be like. But it is in a mess in the seat of my car due to a little quick stop.
Accident. Yeah.
No accident, just a quick stop.
Still delicious though, I'm sure.
Well, I'm not going to say it's not going to be my lunch later with a nice cup of coffee, but it doesn't look great. But when you pull this out of the oven, when I baked that off last night, it was more like about 20 minutes. So don't be afraid to go a little under or over on those times. What you're going to get is a really nice golden brown on the edges, and then just a light browning to the center. So you don't want a real pale center. You want a golden edge and then a light brown middle. And it'll be a little jiggly when it comes out, not too much. Get rid of that shine, bake that shine out of it, give it a little bit of space to jiggle, and then let it cool completely in the pan.
Completely
before
in the pan.
you turn it out or you cut it. This is a nice one if you're going to take it to maybe an outdoor event, because you can just leave it in the pan and slice that. It's going to pop out easily because you sprayed that pan. But you can also turn it out after it's cooled and just serve those bars individually if you want to stack them up and do it as like a gift or something a little bit nicer that way. So again, experiment. White chocolate, the butterscotch chips, there's caramel chips. There are so many kinds of chocolate chips out there right now that you can really have a lot of fun with this. Leave the pretzels out if that's not your vibe. You know, go with something different if you don't like that salty sweet. They are so good with almost anything in them. You start with that same base. Just try to keep the ratio about the same. So total volume of good bits in there. Keep it the same and you're going to be great.
All right, Lori, as always, thanks so much for being with us this morning. We'll, of course, have this recipe later on KOAMnewsnow.com. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:24 now on this Monday morning. And again, the whole Terminator thing broke everything earlier, so that's now aside, and we're going to talk about the heat. So we're looking at our future heat index values. We reach our peak heating by late afternoon, early evening, so I'm stopping this at approximately 5 o'clock each time. So by 5 this evening, we are looking at heat index values 105 to 110 degrees easy across the area. Heading into tomorrow, much of the same, 105 to 110 degree heat index values. That's why we have these excessive heat warnings in place. We go into Wednesday. Wednesday looks to be one of the hotter days for us in terms of at least heat index values for sure. We're going to see a lot more of those 105 to 110. And take a look, the further west and south you go, Newada, for example, could see heat index values closing in on 115 degrees. So we're talking some extreme heat to say the least, and hence extreme heat warnings. By Thursday, still much of the same, 100, 105 to 110 degree heat index values out there. So here's the excessive heat warnings that are in place across the area. Again, 5 different weather service offices cover our region. And so what we've got is Springfield covers here and here. They've gone ahead and put these out until Thursday evening. Then we have Tulsa, and Tulsa, traditionally, they have done this always day by day. So you may see in your notifications in Northeast Oklahoma that these things expire at 8 this evening, and that is true. But they'll very likely, by this afternoon, go ahead and reissue them for tomorrow. It'll probably be the case through the next several days, but Tulsa has always played it day by day. So each of these will expire by the evening hours tonight, and then go back into effect tomorrow. So don't let that fool you if you see that it expires at 8 this evening. So here's some things you do need to know with this extreme heat. Number one, your pets. Early morning walks, which even that, it's been pretty hot this morning. 5 a.m., Iola had a heat index of almost 90 degrees at 5 o'clock in the morning. Otherwise, they've got to be inside. They can't be outdoors for very long. You take them out, let them use the restroom, get them back in. They can't be out. Doesn't matter if there's shade, water. It is too hot. Kids, same thing. Really, they're not going to like it, but they need to stay indoors as much as possible as well. Make sure they've got water, Pedialyte pops, keep them hydrated. Of course, yourself, if you've got to work outside, I know a lot of foremans and companies around here, they're very understanding. They know it's hot. You got to make sure you've got plenty of water. You're finding
shade, take breaks as you can, take care of yourself. And of course, make sure you're calling or checking up on the elderly because they're quite susceptible to this kind of heat as well. This particular graphic, we're not going to break down all the details on it, but it gives you the distinction between heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Of course, heat stroke much more serious. We have this graphic and a number of other heat safety tips on our website at koamnewsnow.com/forecast, so you can review it at any time. All right, 80 to start, 87 by 11, clear skies, which is what we're seeing. We had some clouds out there. It was courtesy some storms that are up to our north. Unfortunately, they're not looking like they're going to make any kind of impact for us today, other than it's just going to be hot and muggy. Clear skies, low to mid 90s, south winds gusting to 20. Heat index values today, again, up to 110. Clear, hot, muggy through the evening as well, still in the low 80s by 10, well above normal tonight. Upper 70s with those south winds gusting to 25. South winds tomorrow also gusting upwards of 20, but take a look at our temperatures as they continue to climb. Mid-upper 90s, maybe for one or two of us. An isolated storm Thursday, Friday. The majority of us will just be dry, hot, muggy out there. Temperatures continue to climb as we roll into next week, getting close to 100, which is going to very easily keep our heat index values upwards of 110, and in some cases, like we showed you Wednesday, maybe even reaching 115 degrees. So you've got to stay safe out there. Stay indoors if you can. Take precautions if you can't. That's a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30. I'm Elise Snowy. A traveling comic book store arrived at the Holiday Inn in Pittsburgh over the weekend. The store had all kinds of merchandise ranging from comic books, action figures, music, puzzles, posters, and more. Customers would pay an entrance fee to enter the store and be given a ticket for a drawing for a $50 shopping spree. Kids 12 and under could attend for free.
We were doing a similar show, but the person who would do those shows would do it out of the bigger cities in Texas. And I always, just kind of through that process, I was like, I think this would work better in places where I grew up that don't have comic book stores anymore. And that's kind of where the idea came from.
The event is organized and hosted by Keddy's Comics, a comic book store based in Odessa, Texas. And Jumbo Jammin' held its 4th annual celebration. The event, organized by Connect to Culture, launched in 2021. The festival hopes to celebrate the incredible local and regional musical talent in the 4-state area. Most performing bands are selected by public vote, giving attendees a direct role in helping shape the festival, and it was free for all to attend.
Joplin is a community that likes to entertain, has something for everyone, regardless of your economic situation. This event is all free, and it'll be lots of fun.
Now, this year's lineup had 6 bands, which included Project 6, Dance Monkey Dance, Sunset Circle, and Dawson Hollow. Let's head over now to Chris for another look at the forecast.
Yeah, we've got just the extreme heat across the air. We're going to start with a quick look outside downtown Joplin. It's breezy, but again, this is the same breeze you get after you bake a pizza in the oven for 20 minutes. It's not good. There's no relief in this breeze is what I'm getting at. It's just a warm one. And warm, muggy conditions out there already. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline looking good as folks get their day underway. A reminder, extreme heat warnings across virtually the entire area with the exception of Ottawa and Delaware counties where you have heat advisories. The latest of these run through Thursday. The majority of these will very likely be continued through most of this week. As we're looking at heat index values today, they could easily reach up to 110 degrees, putting us where heat exhaustion is likely. Heat stroke is certainly possible, especially for those more susceptible to this kind of heat out there. So you got to make sure you're taking care of yourself. Future track, not much to show us, unfortunately. We've just got gusty winds and otherwise clear skies, perhaps a cloud or two, but not enough to really bring us any kind of relief out there. Temperatures already pretty toasty. They've been this way all morning long. 78 in Joplin, 79 in Pittsburgh, and across the region temperatures, again, we are into the upper 70s, getting close to 80. Earlier this morning, before our temperatures fell back to our lows, Iola, Chanute, Neodesha, Yates Center, you guys were into the low 80s. Iola this morning had a heat index of 88 degrees. So we're talking very hot, and that was at 5 a.m. So that's just a sign of things to come. Heat index values are already climbing. We're starting to see those low 80s across a good portion of the area. And again, heat index values today eventually up to 110. Low 80s by 9, upper 80s by noon, low to mid 90s for our highs, south winds gusting to 20. And again, heat index values up to 110. We're having another look at your forecast, this extreme heat, and have some additional heat safety tips for you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. And don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get those severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Well, local conservation center hosts a water-filled day of fun in Joplin. KOAM's Mitch Adams brings us more.
The Shoal Creek Water Festival makes a splash with a variety of exciting activities designed to engage the whole family.
We've got a bunch of people out today. Actually, we're doing shoebox boat races, we're doing cardboard boat races. We've got a bunch of vendors out just trying to accentuate the importance of water. So we're being a little bit tricky. We're tricking people into learning things about water conservation.
The purpose of Waterfest is to help local communities understand the importance of water and water safety.
We would really like for them to understand that their drinking water comes from Shoal Creek in this area. So we want them to use water correctly and to not pollute our waterways. That's very important to us. We also always want to make sure that people are outside and having a good time in nature.
With entertainment lined up throughout the day, the Shoal Creek Water Festival offers a great opportunity for families to bond, learn, and create fun memories together.
When you combine nature, education, and fun all rolled into one, you're actually learning. You might not even know that you're learning, which is really what we try to do.
In Joplin, Missouri, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Well, some kids were able to handle a 6-foot-long snake as part of Waterfest that afternoon. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. We explore why artificial companions are becoming the new social norm. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from Immigrant Park in Pittsburgh. In Consumer Watch, as more and more people experiment with how AI can help them with certain tasks when it comes to using these programs during job hunts, some experts advise caution. Fox News' Ted Linder takes a closer look at how AI is reshaping the hiring process.
Whether you're a recent college graduate on the cusp of starting their career or a seasoned employee trying to switch up their roles, artificial intelligence programs can be a tempting option to help write and sort through an ocean of job application materials. But some academic experts are urging caution.
Trying to navigate these job boards, trying to navigate LinkedIn to have a social presence too is a lot to go through. And then you throw AI into the mix as a magical tool to sort of solve all this. It's not actually living up to that hype.
Mark Watkins of the University of Mississippi says some companies are using AI detectors to try and help determine the authenticity of a candidate's documents.
When people start using AI to generate everything from the resume and also their cover letters in some cases, some people are doing it to generate entire websites. It means that actual employers are going to be using AI detectors in some cases, which are not very reliable and also have hidden biases, to try to weed that out.
Instead, Watkins recommends using AI to help refine resumes and job searches.
Write your resume, first of all, write your cover letter before you turn to generative AI. After then, it can help you formatting this. It can also give you some ideas about where to send this. The newest features with generative AI technology is it's really impacting search. So you can use your actual resume as the actual search prompt to go forward and search different job options.
Meanwhile, no matter how advanced technology like AI becomes, some experts suggest
the one thing that's going to have a remarkable staying power is that authentic human connection.
Ted Linder, Fox News.
And that's a look at some of our consumer stories this morning. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 7:43 now on this Monday morning. We're going to start with our feels like temperatures because there's really not much to show you on the future track at this point because we're just going to be hot and dry. So here's where we stand by late today. And a reminder, of course, we reach our peak heating late afternoon, early evening. That's where we're going to see our highest heat index values as well, that 105 to 110 degree range out there. We go into our Tuesday and it's much of the same. We go right back into that 105 to 110 degree range across the region. Wednesday, still at this point, looks to be one of the hotter days we've got. They're going to see a lot more heat index values in that 105 to 110 range, and some folks could even potentially exceed the 110 degree mark in the water, for example. This is, again, a forecast heat index, but still getting close to 115 degrees, and that's not really out of the question, even as we roll to next week as well. 105 to 110 heat index again by Thursday, a little better in some locations because we might get a pop-up storm or two on Thursday. Excessive heat warnings again in place. The latest of these run through Thursday. Many of these they go day by day, so they'll probably be reissued as we head into the afternoon for each day through at least Thursday, and it's a possibility. It's not out of the realm of possibility that these will go even further than that as well because of the dangerous heat that we've got across the area. So again, with that in mind, we do have some heat safety tips for you. And a reminder as well, we've got these on our website. So it's key things to keep in mind. One of the things, of course, your pets. Take them on early morning walks. So you also want to be careful there as well because, as we mentioned earlier, this is just a good example. It's a bad example, but it's, what I mean here. Iola, your heat index this morning around 5 a.m. was almost 90 degrees at 5 o'clock in the morning. No sunlight at all. And it was still that hot. So you want to make sure you're also keeping an eye on how the conditions as they are in the morning and, finding the appropriate time to take that walk with your pets. Otherwise, they've got to stay indoors. You can let them out to use the restroom, but you got to get them back in. It's going to be too hot for them to be outside. Kids, they're not going to like it. My kids aren't going to like it either, but it is going to be too hot for them to go outside either. So we're talking, even then, you still got to keep them hydrated. Water, Pedialyte Pops, because they're fairly susceptible to the heat. For those of you who have to work outdoors, I know there's a lot of construction projects going on around the region. Just make sure you're taking frequent breaks, finding shade, staying hydrated out there, and just keeping an eye on your own health. Make sure you're getting, the warning signs if you need to maybe check out of the work site for a moment. And of course, make sure you're checking on the elderly as well. Call them, stop by, make sure they're doing okay, because like kids, they're very susceptible to this kind of heat. Now, this graphic, again, not breaking down all the details on it, but it does break down the differences between heat exhaustion and heat stroke, either of which are possible given the heat index values we're going to have over the next several days. But we do have this graphic and a number of other heat safety graphics on our website, again, at komnewsnow.com/forecast. You'll find all these graphics on there, and it's a resource that we'll have up all week in there on our forecast page, just so you can stay safe. All right, clear skies out there, 80 by 8 o'clock this morning. We'll go into the upper 80s, near 90 by 11 a.m. Our highs today, again, low mid-90s with those heat index values approaching 110. South winds gusting to 20. Still mild, muggy through the evening, low 80s by 10, upper 70s tonight. South winds still gusting to 25. Of course, our average low should be about 70. So well above normal. Average high is still about 90, so above normal there. Breezy again tomorrow. Temperatures climbing mid-upper 90s. There's those pop-up storm chances possible. So maybe one or two of us will get a shower, maybe some cloud cover Thursday, Friday. Next week, though, we start cruising even higher, getting close to the triple digits, which means our heat index values are still going to remain easily up to 110, and by next week, maybe in some cases, up to 115. Let's check out your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Well, a new study reveals that teens are turning to technology for connection and companionship.
Jesse Gary dives deeper into this intriguing trend.
I can cut to it when so convenient.
Midday Thursday sees counselors and campers at Los Gatos-based community access station KCAT-TV readying for their next production. For some in this age group, the next step in producing a meaningful friendship isn't cemented face-to-face, but instead through AI.
I've had friends, and I was talking to them in real life, and they're like, oh, I'm going to go hop on a chat with my friend. It wasn't, I was like, oh, bring him in. I'd love to meet them. And it wasn't a friend. It was an AI friend.
Overwhelmed by a labyrinth of vacillating emotions, some teens are turning to AI-generated companions to share the pits and perils of growing up. Character AI, Replica, and Talkie all offer easy, flowing, available conversation that's just a click away.
It's just a little bit weird to be talking to something that seems so human as if it is.
Weird or not, AI companions could be the next social wave. A study by researchers at San Francisco-based Common Sense Media finds nearly 3 out of 4 teens have used artificial companions to talk, and half do so regularly.
It can provide the kind of companionship that has similar kinds of abilities as real people do. So, it's very validating, it agrees with you, and it can chat with you in a way that a real person might be able to.
It could, though, allow teens and sort of young adults to practice in a non-judgmental setting.
Experts such as Dr. Melinda Day say removing warts from normal relationships can do more harm than good.
You don't want a teen to hide from the judgment. You don't want a teen to hide from the interactive nature of being human.
I personally like to talk to my friends, whether it's over the phone or just in face.
Back at the camp, several of the teens say while AI companions are novel, they can never replicate or replace the real experience that comes from producing a lasting friendship.
I feel like it's a weird trend that's going on that I hope dies down. But then I also feel like some people might take it too far and it could really ruin a lot of people.
Certainly interesting.
It is. And of course, you've got to be cautious with AI
really
too.
do.
I mean, it can be
programmed for certain things.
You don't want to become addicted to it. Exactly. You've still got to get out there and make real connections. Even though it's challenging, you've got to do that.
Absolutely.
And you've also got to take precautions in the heat. A quick look at our heat index values as we head in the afternoon and evening today. 105 to 110 today. That will repeat for us on our Tuesday. And by Wednesday, could be even higher, like Nowata, for example, possibly reaching close to 115-degree heat index values out there. And, of course, that will carry on into our Thursday with maybe some slight improvements if we can get a pop-up storm or two out there. Excessive heat warnings in this purplish color across most of the area, running through at least Thursday. And we do have a couple of heat advisories, Ottawa, Delaware, and Benton counties. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that as well. And a reminder, of course, make sure you're taking your pets on early morning walks, that they're otherwise inside. Keep your kids hydrated and inside as well. Water, Pedialyte pops. Those of you working outside, find shade, drink plenty of water, take breaks as you can. And of course, call or stop by, check on the elderly as well, because they're a little more susceptible to this heat. And as I mentioned, we do have this nice graphic on our website that defines the differences between heat exhaustion and heat stroke. It's KOAMnews.now.com/forecast. Clear skies out there. That'll be the trend. 80 by 8 and near 90 by 11 o'clock this morning. Got another look at your forecast and your wake-up recap right after this.
This is your wake-up recap for July 21st. Your top stories to start your day. Now, 2 people found themselves caught up in a current while on the Elk River near the Lowhead Dam. A 26-year-old female kayaker found herself caught in the rolling current. A 55-year-old male then jumped in to rescue the woman. The current eventually pushed the female out, but the man was caught up in the current. Both were pulled from the river, and the man was rushed to an Arkansas hospital where he was pronounced dead. Liberty Utilities is hosting an open forum this evening in Joplin about new proposed rates in Southwest Missouri. Rates could go from $33 per kilowatt an hour to $39 per kilowatt an hour. Liberty says the money made from the rates will go to help strengthen their system against weather and improve the grid overall. The forum will be held at the Justice Center Auditorium on the campus of Missouri Southern at 6 p.m. If approved, the new rates will go into effect in early 2026. And a new speed limit goes into effect today in Carl Junction. Route Z on Imperial Road and Walnut Street in front of the high school. The speed limit will be reduced from 45 to 40. Once school begins, the school zone will be reduced from 35 to 30. And that's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And we've got, again, excessive heat warnings across the area through at least Thursday. Heat index values today up to 110. Sunny, hot, low mid-90s. South winds gusting to 20. Clear skies through the evening. South winds overnight gusting to 25. Will be mild again into the upper 70s for our lows. Will be mid-upper 90s the next several days. Breezy tomorrow. Maybe an isolated pop-up storm or two Thursday, Friday. But over the next several days, heat index values up to 110. Not out of the question. Next week, they could even reach up to 115. So again, just make sure you're taking care of yourself and staying indoors where you can.
Absolutely. Well, Frontenac residents beat the heat yesterday to celebrate National Ice Cream Day at Granny's Chip Ice Cream Shop. It was one of many area ice cream shops to celebrate the day.
Now, the shop had deals of $3 for one scoop of any of the 50 flavors the store offers, or its ice cream nachos for $5. According to the store, classic flavors like vanilla, chocolate, cookies, and cream were some of the most popular. Of course, ice cream, an excellent treat.
Yes.
Really, each
Yum.
day for the next couple of weeks at the rate we're going with this heat. So just, again, stay cool out there, though, and maybe enjoy some ice cream indoors.
Any excuse.
Exactly. Well, thank you all so much for joining us this morning. We're back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.